All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Clean Libertarian podcast. And I am joined once again by the lovely Mrs. Clean Libertarian.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So, here's what happened. Essentially, I had a guest lined out and it didn't pan out. And I've been wanting to bring you back on for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But here we are. So
no, what you're saying is you had no other options, and I'm chopped liver.
there's always options.
Oh.
I could have done a solo episode.
Well.
But I didn't.
Maybe you should have.
I'm thinking I should have now.
Oh.
What the hell, man?
Well, I'm just feeling like chopped liver.
You're not chopped liver.
Your last attempt at a podcast episode.
This is going off the rails quick.
With the
We
cat
just started
driving.
and it's already going off the rails. No, but we're going to talk about, I mean, you have some hesitancies when it comes to ending the war on drugs.
Yes.
And you were going to talk about those.
Yeah, I thought that it would be because I'm not all in on your fantasy of ending all the
Fantasy.
the fantasy of ending the war on
Fantasy.
drugs.
That's what we're going with.
Yeah. I have my reasons, so I thought maybe if I shared my reasons, then you could we could do a rebuttal.
A little back and forth.
Don't be too harsh on me.
I'm not going to be harsh.
Okay.
I might be harsh.
So my number one reason, my first reason that I think, not necessarily that drugs should be illegal, but there should be some laws surrounding drugs.
Okay.
My number one reason is if they're too easy to get, then I feel like, yes, it does, for teens and underage people and stuff like that, if it's too easy to get, then...
You got to talk towards the mic. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, can I move it towards
Yeah,
me?
you could move it towards you. That's
Okay.
fine.
If they're too easy to get, then more people will be doing them. So, yes, I understand. I've heard your, write-up about, or you've said before, there's no liquor stores knocking on the high school doors, selling liquor to kids.
Right.
So I get what you're saying with that. I do. But at the same time, when I was in my experimental stage in high school, I was a drinker. Booze was always kind of my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I did experiment with some other drugs. Nothing really too heavy because I didn't really know where to get it. I think the hardest drug I've ever tried is cocaine or ecstasy.
Okay.
But when it comes to harder stuff, it's not that I didn't want to do it. It's I didn't know how to get it. And had I been able to get it, maybe I would have. And then maybe I would have been, down a wrong path and I might be living in a gutter somewhere.
Okay. So I'm going to give a shout out right now to my friend Jose Gallison. You've heard Jose.
Well, I listen to all your episodes.
You listen to all my episodes. So do you heard about...
No Way Jose.
No Way Jose. You heard about how he said that he got on drugs in his high school year. Mm-hmm. Prescription meds, mm-hmm. things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not that they aren't already available to kids to get if they wanted to.
I couldn't find them.
Well, that's just because you didn't have the right connection.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that stopped it. But
if they were legal, it would have been that much easier.
What?
I wouldn't have had to find the right connection because they'd be legal and I could just go buy it at CVS, right?
But whether it being legal or just let me, hold on here. Just take a step back for a second, okay? So here's the thing. Illegal drugs make their way into the hands of minors. Mm-hmm. It's just how it works. I mean, it happens. You drank when you were a kid, right? Mm-hmm. Okay? Either which way, there's going to be that happen. It sucks. It's terrible. You don't want to see that happen, and the person providing said illicit substances is in violation of the non-aggression principle because a child cannot consent. So giving you drugs at an early age, I think even in an anarchist society, you'd be hard pressed to find people who said, no, it's okay. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. So the question isn't about how do we prevent, but how do we have a level of harm reduction? And I think personally that if we had legalized substances, at least, God forbid, a teen getting their hands on it would have an idea of what it is they're getting their hands on. Rather than the current approach which is demonize and vilify all of these substances and paint them all to be the same thing, but rather have an honest dialogue and discussion about what each substance actually does.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because as it stands right now, the same injuries that are occurring to adults, consenting adults, are the same injuries that would occur to a minor. One of those being that spiked dope, fentanyl laced, dope and things of that nature. You're not going to completely rid yourself of kids getting into what they shouldn't get into.
Yeah.
We can all do due diligence, but a great step in the right direction is honest and open dialogue. Factual points on what are you yawning? Am I making you tired?
No.
Are we bored already? We're 5 minutes in. What the hell's going on?
I mean, I see your point, and I guess, there would be some, just like we've talked, like there's no way to
talk into the mic.
I'm gonna choke you out if you keep talking to me like that. Is this good enough now?
Yeah, just look at the levels. See the bars?
Where am I supposed to be? What's my goal?
Right there around that 6. See?
Okay.
Right around there is good.
Okay.
So people can hear you. I mean, that's the thing.
I guess, yes.
The 5 people who listen to this podcast are really going to appreciate that.
I'm gonna listen to it still, even though I'm on it. I'll still listen to it. I listen to all your podcasts, babe.
So the 4 people listening.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if those people if that's punishable by law, because I guess right now it's not really like if a minor gets heroin, they can't really tell on the drug dealer. I mean, I guess they could, but
I'm pretty sure that there's. I don't know for certain because that's not something I was involved with or party to, but I'm pretty sure that there's already existing laws for that, like contributing to the delinquency of a minor or something like that. I mean, it's harsh, as it should be, as it absolutely should be. So what was your next one?
Okay, so my next one was, as you know, I listened to a lot of stories about murder, and I'm really into true crime. Yes. So a lot of times...
Guys, by the way, let's side row here real quick. If I ever go missing, if I'm ever gone, I promise you, the one person who knows what happened is Mrs. Clean Libertarian.
Oh, honey, but I'll still help look for you.
That's just true addict fashion. There you go. That's terrifying.
No one's going to know.
No.
Okay, well, anyways, I listen to a lot of true crime, and in some situations, they haven't been able to actually prove that this person murdered this other person or hid their body or whatever, but they have been able to hold them on other charges, and then it comes into them either telling a cellmate, or they were able to, once they had them in bars, like go search their house and things like that without being able to hold them on that drug charge or whatever, then that murder may have never been solved. We maybe would have never known that, that person was involved in that murder.
Right.
So that's the other thing, is like they were able to get them.
So just to clarify, you think drugs should be illegal for the 1 or 2 people that happen to have been arrested for murder thanks to their drug possession charge?
Well, yeah.
So punish the entirety of the country for the basis of 1 or 2 people.
Well, if it was your 1 or 2 people, I mean, if it was Brianna, wouldn't you be glad that they got caught?
I'd be glad that they got caught, but at the same time, I would also, you got to understand, there's orders of magnitude to this, right? So like you're kneecapping and hurting a great sizable chunk of the population.
I mean, I do see that that's probably a little outlandish because those are one-offs.
Yes.
I get that, but at the same time, it is a benefit. It's a benefit.
Okay. I mean, in that one particular instance, but how many lives get destroyed for that one? So, yeah, somebody's loved one was taken from them, right? Mm-hmm. And that's terrible. Horrible. How many other people's loved ones get taken from them because these laws exist to begin with?
Okay.
You know?
All right. You win that round.
I win that round. I think I'm 2 for 2.
Okay.
We're going to go 2 for 2. I'm pretty sure that first
Okay.
one.
And then my third reason, just off the top of my head, that I'm thinking of, was like, okay, so for instance, like when you were out, I was just like, I was thinking to myself, like, I hope that he ends up in the pokey. Maybe it'll straighten his ass out. Like, that's what he needs. He needs a wake-up call. He needs, like, a little fire lit under his ass, you know? And then at least I would know you were safe as well.
Safe. That's the word you chose.
Yeah.
Safe. There has been 9 people that have died in Oklahoma County Jail this year.
That is crazy. I'll say that.
So, Rocco. So, here's the thing, right? That doesn't stop people. Being locked up doesn't stop anybody. You know,
does it not give them like a moment though of like clarity of like,
no,
okay, so
because
once you start, like you said before, the first time you use, you no longer have a choice,
right?
But like if you're in a situation like where you're locked up, then maybe you can like have like a moment of like sobriety and be like, okay.
Here's the thing: is that moment of sobriety, you're surrounded by people who don't want to get sober. You're surrounded by people who are quite literally threatening your life. It's a survival mode while you're in there. I mean, it sucks. Some people might have that moment of clarity. I can tell you right now, I went to jail a lot of times. And the second that fresh air hit my lungs, as soon as I left, no matter what I told myself while I was in there, it was null and void. I could sit in that jail cell and think, I'm going to get clean. This is it. I'm done. And the second clear air, fresh air hit my lungs when they let me out, it was off to the races. One of the things that I just talked about, powerlessness, right, is the last time I went, well, not the last time, the time before my last time I went to jail, when I got my last charge. So many times. But when I got my last charge, the Oklahoma County Jail was having a problem with overcrowding. Okay, so they instituted a program called conditional bond, which is pretty much own recognizance bond, but you get to you have to check in. They give you a temporary probation officer. You got to take drug tests, the like, right? So they let me out. And Oklahoma County Jail has a horrible they let people out like 2 a.m. and they tell you go be good. So 2 a.m.
Why do they do that?
I don't know. It's insane.
Is that just like coincidence?
No, that's how they. Every time I got let out of Oklahoma County Jail, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Every single time.
Everyone's story?
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure.
Not let people out during the day.
I never saw people getting let out during the day. It's insane. Only if like somebody bonded you out, maybe. I don't know, but I never got bonded out. You know, this was like the one time they gave me. But anyway, so I got out at 2 a.m. I knew I had to be back that day. Okay, to drug test and to check in. I went and got high. I mean, I went and got really high. Showed up high, melted the bottom out of that cup. I pissed so hot. Like, I mean, it was not okay. And my probation officer was just like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm like, I got high in county. And they didn't believe me, but they were just like, listen, you can only fail 3 tests and then we revoke your bond. And I'm like, okay. And I swore to myself, like, that's it. I'm done, right? I'm going to come back. I'm not going to. This is my freedom on the line. Mm-hmm. I came back, and the next 2 tests consecutively failed both of them. Failed the next week. I'm like, well, I got one more. And then the week after that, I pissed it in the cup, knew I was going to fail. And as soon as I handed him the sample, I walked out of the room because they had to put it in the stick and go do the thing. It takes like 15 minutes for them to get their results, right, on the test. And so as soon as she left the room, I hit the elevator and I was gone. And that's when I got my bond revoked and I went on the run. And, you know, but that's what I mean by, like, you cannot intercede in an addict's life and just lock them up and fix the problem. It's never going to solve the issue, right? Like, you have to hit your respective bottom.
Yeah.
And
I guess I don't understand. Like, it blows my mind because I just do not understand, like, repeat offenders. Like,
it's just
jail sounds pretty terrible.
Here's the thing, right? So jail sucks. Jail is terrible. The last time I was in jail, I was in for 4 months, and that's nothing compared to a lot of people at all. I mean, and I was in county. I was never in prison, you know. But I can understand, like, how people get institutionalized.
Listen, I did 8 hours. I never want to go back. I never want to go back.
But, like, there's rules. Like, I knew who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. And you know, everybody understood their place in the little hierarchy, you know. And that was just county. I can only imagine that prison would be that much more. But I can see how somebody who spends, you know, calendar years in that type of setting, that becomes their, you know, close to home spot. Like, that's where they feel comfortable.
But do you think that it is possible that some people do get in there and, like, wise up and, like, that's their, like, obviously it wasn't your bottom, but I would venture to say that it's some people's bottom.
Some people's, absolutely. It doesn't mean that it's effective. I mean, you got to look at the recidivism rate. Mm-hmm. You got to look at, you know, how many people like that is actually their story. Kind of like you bringing up the whole, we need to keep drugs illegal so that way we can catch potential murderers.
Yeah. There's
one-offs everywhere. You know, what I'm saying is that the most beneficial way, because you cannot force a spiritual awakening, which is what is absolutely required in order for recovery to take hold. You know, you have to have that moment of absolute clarity, and you cannot force that. That happens when it happens. It has to be organic. Now, can that organically happen in a jail cell? Certainly. It can also happen just as easily on the street. Mm-hmm. You saw me. Mm-hmm. I hit my bottom. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was my bottom. I hit my bottom. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, it doesn't matter where it's at. When the person's ready, the person's going to get the message. The shitty part of it is that, like, I think that this current system prevents more people from getting to that spot to where they can find help. I think this system prevents more recovery from happening than not. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I think more people, and I don't know how many of these instances there are, but, like, I got a friend of mine who died way back when. Like, he got pulled over and had a warrant, bench warrant, and he had like an 8-ball of meth in his pocket, and he swallowed it before the cops saw him, you know, and they put him in a holding cell. He fucking overdosed and died in that holding cell. You know? Like, that's somebody's story he's never going to fucking get out. You know, like, he's never going to get
But what was
clean.
The alternative there? I guess he wouldn't have swallowed it. I mean, eventually it probably would have, like...
Maybe. Who's to say?
Escalated.
I could tell you right now, like, there's going to be very few times in the dope house, you know, if it was legal, you don't just sit there and like, I'm going to eat this whole 8-ball right now. You know, like, there's no real reason for that to happen.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are my 3 reasons.
That's your 3?
Yeah.
Well, they're not bad reasons, right?
I have to probably...
The murder thing was pretty...
That was my strongest reason. I think that's my strongest reason.
That was bad. You're better than that.
No, I think that was one of my strongest reasons.
You have a unique experience because you've been on the other side of it. You don't understand addiction because you're not that, right? So you've had to be on the receiving end and seen it. Mm-hmm. And so you can only understand what I'm able to tell you.
Right.
And even what I'm able to tell you probably isn't.
Well, just listening to, like, you and other, like, all your podcast episodes. Like, I mean, I feel like I am... Like, when I first met you, you had some pretty radical ideas. Like, when you say things like, I don't know, DUI should be legal. Which I get what you're saying. I read something that you wrote to someone on Twitter, and they said, what about if someone crashes? And you said, well, now you're talking about drunk crashing. You're not talking about drunk driving. And I have to agree, like, you know, yes, that's true. And then a lot of people talk about, you know, property crimes and stuff from when people are on drugs. And I get that. That's unrelated. I mean, it's related, but it's not, you know, it's a totally different crime within itself. So I think that I've come around a lot.
Yeah.
To seeing things more like your point of view. But some of your ideas I still think are kind of outlandish.
I guess here's the thing, though, is that, like, we don't have to have the answer for everything as libertarians. We don't. It's not my responsibility to have a solution in place. Okay, for instance, when people say justify the war in Iraq and Afghanistan with all the civilian deaths, well, that's the price of war. Whenever I tell you that is not okay, and when not you being
Right,
obviously, but I say that's not okay for us to bomb innocent civilians. It shouldn't be then, well, what's your solution? It should just be like, it's not up to me to figure out the other solution. Like, don't kill innocents. That's not it. So whenever I say that, like, these laws that we have in place here in the States are disproportionately affecting people, and I'm not even going to get into the whole identity politics thing. Let's be real about it. It is class warfare to have these laws on the books, because if you have the money, you don't ever have to go to jail for this type of shit. You can pay for the right attorney, you can get out, and it's just one of those things. I was never able to. I was on the low end. I mean, I had nothing. So I had to deal with what I had to deal with. Take your lashings. So already we have this system in place that is disproportionately affecting some people than others. Whenever I say we need to put a stop to this, it needs to end, I shouldn't have to have a solution on the other end. I should just be able to call out the bullshit and that be it. You know what I mean? And whoever finds a solution. But thankfully, libertarians, we think way too fucking much and argue with each other online all the time. So there's actually some cats out there who have some pretty good things to say about it,
Well, I'll keep listening.
Yeah.
And if I hear anything that I approve of, I'll let you know. What are we going to do about how to catch the murderers? Like,
I mean, we already have that. We already have mechanisms in place.
I don't know. There are some people it's like very obvious that okay.
O.J. Simpson's still walking around.
No, he's in jail.
No, he's not. He's out. He's making videos on Twitter.
Is he?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not behind on that. Less interested in that. Casey Anthony. Now that is a tragedy.
Yeah.
How did
That's the one who killed her kid?
Yes, and she got off.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much evidence. But Scott Peterson, I'm not so sure he did it. A lot of people think he did. I don't know.
I don't know who that is. Who's Scott Peterson?
You need to listen. If I'm going to listen and get involved in these conversations.
Did you watch the White Boy Rick?
Yeah, I did, but it was a while back. I think it's really messed up, the White Boy Rick thing.
We need to put a pin in that because I don't have all the stuff in front of me anymore.
Oh.
Guys, if you're listening to this, check out White Boy Rick. It's on Netflix. Might not be anymore. They might have pulled it. I don't know.
I just watched it a couple weeks ago. It's shocking.
It's shocking. Shocking.
Very shocking.
Shocking documentary.
I had to watch it like 3 different times because I kept like getting distracted. So.
Well,
But it was shocking, and I was like, "That's crazy."
It's been a while. We were supposed to do that episode. Then I was like, I had it all ready, and then I got distracted. I think something happened.
Anyways,
so
what else do we talk about?
I don't know. We're at 23 minutes. You just make this a short episode?
No, we have other stuff we can talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
You said current events.
Yeah, here's one thing I want to stay away from because I got these going up on YouTube. I don't want to talk about the jab or the jab passports.
I don't. I don't even know what that is. Oh, that. Okay, yeah.
The COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
The vaccine passports.
Why don't? Okay.
I don't know. I'm afraid. You know what? Who cares, right? Who cares, right? Let's go into it. What do you think?
So my thing that I think is I'm extremely hard-headed. I don't know. I go back and forth. I feel a lot of social pressure to get the vaccine. I feel like I have I'm surrounded by people that are very strong-minded and opinionated about the vaccine. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I know people that are anti-vaxxers, and I think they're a little kooky.
Right.
Sometimes, no offense, but that's just kind of my sister.
And you've had COVID.
I had COVID. So one, I don't even know if it'll really help me because I have had COVID. But two, I'm hard-headed. But I am having just like a lot of social anxiety because I feel like people are not going to want to be my friend. If I don't get this COVID shot, I feel like I'm not going to be allowed to like do things, and it scares me. I feel like I'm being scared into getting it, and gives me a lot of anxiety.
That's
but
sad.
At the same time, I also feel like I can't use the whole claim of like, well, I don't trust the government, because the thing is, if I really didn't trust the government, I need to quit eating the food that I'm eating. I need to take care of myself better and really be less dependent on the government. If the government really wanted to do something to us, they'd put it in our food or our personal care. We are a chemical dumping ground. There's so much stuff, and there's so many chemicals in the things that we put on our body and in our body that, I'm not even that educated about. But I just feel like if the government really wanted to do some slick shit, that's what they do. They wouldn't call it a vaccine and then...
I'm into that. I could agree. I could agree with that. Like, if they wanted you to have this chemical in your body,
we'd have it. We wouldn't even know.
But I think that it is... That's kind of like my hesitancy with it, is because I don't think it's about the chemical. It's never been about the chemical. Just like it's never been about the survival rate of people. I mean, I think it's more to do with, just trying.
I just don't want to be
controlled. I sound
controlled.
like a fucking kook. That's it.
I just don't want to be controlled.
Man.
It's like, I'm the kind of person that you can tell me not to run into a brick wall, but it's like...
And I'll do it just to spite you.
Right. I will never forget. I was at a doctor's office one time, and there's a giant red button on the wall, and there was a note next to the red button. It said, "Do not press this button."
You pressed it.
I've never wanted to press a button
Did
so
you press
bad.
it?
No, I didn't press it.
That's what makes you and I different.
Yeah, you would have pressed it.
I would have pressed that son of a bitch.
No, I didn't, because there was a room full of people, and I care a lot about what people think about me. And so I didn't press it, but man, I wanted to, and I'll never forget it. I was only like 17 when I saw this button. It was a giant red button.
I think the social pressures of people wanting me to get this, wanting just
I feel like that's probably less for you, because you surround yourself with people that...
I mercilessly ridicule people at work all the time about it. All the time. But we all kind of do. We all talk shit. I mean, it's construction.
I mean, you and I work in just such different fields that it's a little bit different. I have people, like, I work in customer service.
You work in an estrogen plant, and I work at a...
Okay, but also I work in customer service. And so I constantly have people coming in, and I can't get into arguments with these people. I mean, it's just kind of like they're pleasantries that I exchange all day long with people. My name being Hillary, one of the things that I get a lot of is... I get compared to Hillary Clinton. Not as much anymore, but like when Hillary was running for president, constantly. And I never knew if it was going to be someone going, "Oh, Hillary, I don't know about you." Or, "Oh, Hillary, look at you. You ought to be proud of your name." I just never knew. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. I'm in customer service. It's not my business to go, "Yeah, you're right." I just have to go, "Oh, yeah, I know.
Have you seen that movie, Office Space?
Oh, yes.
And he's like, "Man, has anybody ever told you had a case of the Monday?" He's like, No, hell no, man. I believe I'd kick somebody's ass for that. That's the line I thought whenever you were talking about people calling you Hillary and making that jump. Like,
people just always...
Motherfucker.
People just always do that, but it's not really my place to, like, argue with them and go, "Well, actually, she's a great da-da-da," or "No, she's dog shit."
I couldn't.
I just would go... I would kind of fill them out and then, like, play both sides of the fence. "Oh, I know, it's crazy," or "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to keep my job, if I want to be successful. So
okay.
So when customers come in and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna get the vaccine," I just go, "Oh, I don't know. I'm still waiting to see. I don't know. I'm letting everyone else get it first." Or they'll go, "Oh, don't get that vaccine. It's crazy." "Oh, I know, right? Yeah, I don't know." So it's like all day long, I'm doing these like mental gymnastics of like, and then I have a lady come in and. Her dad just died of COVID. She's all hyped up about it. And I can't believe these masks. And I mean, it's crazy. It's
here's the thing though too, is that like, you can just lie.
Well, I don't think it's anyone's business, right? I don't think it's anyone's business. My medical records, if I am or if I'm not vaccinated, it's nobody's business.
But just to save face, even with all your family and your friends and stuff, the ones that are like way overboard about it and like want you to get it.
Like
it's a one-time conversation.
Let me know when the appointments are.
Right. It's a one-time conversation that you have to have. So yeah, I got it. Right? And I
don't know. I hate lying. I think I would rather just be.
But it's a one-time lie. You never have to say it again.
Okay.
It's over.
Well, if you lied to me about one time that you never have to lie, what is it?
I haven't.
Oh, lie. You're doing it right now.
No.
You're doing it right now.
I'm not.
Well, I don't like to lie.
Well, I mean, nobody likes to lie, Hillary. Listen, sometimes we got to do what we got to do.
I'm a woman of character.
You are a woman of character that needs to lie about this one thing in order to.
I think I will just plead the fifth. Like, it's not your business. It's my body. And then it just reminds me of like the whole like abortion conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's my body. It's no one's business.
I mean, it's not. I think, but here's the thing: is taking that stance. Well, it's none of your business. I mean, that's automatic. Like, no, I haven't got it. You know, which if it's somebody who I know, they're not gonna fucking relent. They're not gonna let up, dude. I'll just tell them. Just like you run across that acquaintance that you haven't seen in forever at Walmart. They're like, hey, you need to come over sometime. You're like, oh, yeah, totally will. And you know damn good and well you'll never go over there. It's the same thing. It's the exact same scenario.
I would just avoid that person, right?
You can't avoid some of these people.
That's true.
You can't. I mean, one of them's your sister. And she's a wonderful person.
Well, she's anti this vaccination, too, though.
Yeah.
She's anti-vaxxer.
Does she listen to this?
General. No, she doesn't.
She doesn't? Don't ever tell her about this.
Stop.
Don't ever tell her about this, because then you're in trouble.
No.
You're in trouble for this.
If any of my family listens to this, I'm in trouble. Because you got a tin hat on, and...
I do not have a tin hat.
You do.
I have an experienced hat on. You know, I've seen some shit.
Your ideas are just very out there for a lot of people.
Principled
that
and
I know.
Wonderful. I know.
And here's the thing. I come from a family, like, I will say this. My family, I kind of grew up kind of bootlickers a little bit. Like, I have to say. Like,
well, yeah,
my
your uncle was a cop.
My uncle was a highway patrolman. We have a lot of respect for highway patrol. I had a lot of respect for my uncle. I still have a lot of respect for him. He's deceased. But, you know, I grew up in kind of a law enforcement family. And it's kind of just like, do what you're told and there won't be a problem. I am starting to see that there is, you know, you shouldn't have to be worried when you get pulled over if you get into your glove compartment too fast or whatever, or
right.
Like, you know, you shouldn't have to, like, if you're just taking a jog down the street and then, you know, you shouldn't I don't know, I guess I've always been of the mind of like, just do what you're told and there won't be a problem. But now I'm kind of starting to see that, like, no, there will still be a problem. There could still potentially be a problem, and you shouldn't just have to do whatever just because if you're doing nothing wrong.
Right.
So I'm kind of coming around and seeing it, but it's just weird because the family I grew up in, I think it was like my grandparents and their generation and things like that. It was all just very like, I mean, I tried to tell my grandma I need therapy one time after my mom passed. I was like, I need to go to counseling. She's like, no, you don't need counseling. You just need your family. And like, you know, It's just that whole mentality. It's just very, my mom was a staunch Republican.
Yeah.
She did kind of do the independent thing for a minute. But I do think my mom would get in on the libertarian. If she were alive today, I do think that she could probably get behind some of these.
She would.
Because talk about a woman that liked to do whatever the hell she wants. And she was, she definitely was more like that than I was. She would have pressed the red button. She would have found out who made the red button, and she would have gotten their personal cell phone and called them.
Yeah.
And said, why the hell is this red button here?
Right. Well, so, you know.
But, okay, so what's your opinion on it? The Chad?
Where we go with that?
We're
off the rails. This is off the rails.
This is what I do. I get the diarrhea of the mouth.
Whew. I don't even know. We were talking about vaccines, and then somehow we're on the red button. Anyway, I get it. I'm not.
You didn't want to talk about it.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I'll just. If it brings peace of mind to people, I'll lie. I will lie so fast. I will lie and just be like, yeah, I got the Moderna.
Well, sir, can I see your passport?
Yeah, I'll get one of them too.
Oh, God.
You know?
You're going to end up
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, though. Right? If vaccine passports were a thing, then that's very well an actual government database, and that's a problem. It's going to be real hard to fake that one.
I don't really like that.
And nobody should.
I mean, it's kind of like...
We don't do that with the flu shot.
Is it like forging prescriptions? Do you think it's that easy?
As the card is now, insanely easy. The vaccine passports, if it's an actual like database system where like somebody can scan a barcode and it shows up on their little like... No, it's going to be really hard to fudge that. Like you will have to get into... What I imagine that system looking like is that shot records are sent directly from the doctor to this database.
I just feel like that's such a violation.
It's very much so a violation. That's why people are against it.
Well, I hope that doesn't pass.
Like, as it stands right now, these little vaccine cards are so easy to print. Like, I won't, probably, but I haven't, but I just know, it's not hard to do now. But a system like that, dude, that's tough.
Well,
that is tough.
Good thing the Libertarian Party is just full of a bunch of nerds.
Yeah, it is full of a bunch of nerds with way too much time on their hands because they're not winning elections.
Yeah.
So.
But Twitter fights, they do.
Twitter fights, we kick ass at.
Yeah.
We're really great at that. We either get blocked or muted.
Other current events.
Menthol cigarettes are gone.
Okay, that's crazy. Now, I am not a smoker, and I haven't really looked into this. I've seen some mentions of it online. I thought it's totally, it's one of those things where I feel like it's like clickbait, where like, oh, that sounds outlandish. All of them, even the Camel Crush.
Yeah. They're gone.
Are they gone right
but
now?
Hold on.
Should I stock up? Can I go buy some?
It's not just menthol cigarettes.
I don't even smoke.
Grape cigar wraps are going away.
Little
flavored cigars are gone.
That you roll the
those are
urban.
Gone. There's going to be gone.
Why do you think? Why is that? Are they bad?
I mean, it's just I don't know why. Why did they do anything? I
mean, I just remember back in the day, you go to 7-Eleven, you're like, need a white grape,
white owl. White owl, yeah, peach white owl.
Yeah.
If you're not getting peach, you're fucked up.
White grape is what my friends would get.
Yeah, well.
Okay, but menthols. I'm not a smoker. But occasionally, if I were to smoke, I love a menthol with like a minty mint in my mouth at the same time. That's like my go-to.
When I was on ecstasy, I enjoyed menthols. It was like candy, but I hate menthols otherwise.
I love menthols. That's
the
only cigarette. Otherwise. But so, what is it? Is it because everyone always says it crystallizes your lungs?
Well, I'm sure. I mean, there's always potential bad shit, right?
Yeah, but I mean, smoking in general, like just ban cigarettes, right?
No,
Why can we not ban cigarettes?
No, stop saying that. Don't ever ban cigarettes. Well, here's the other side of this problem too. All of these sin taxes they've put on, tobacco is one of the highest sin tax things there is. Every time there's a new tax proposal, we'll just hit the smokers for it. Now they're starting to drain themselves of that pool. Assuming these people start, because here's the thing: menthol cigarettes aren't going to stop. They're still going to be a thing, but it's going to be
a black market.
Yeah, it'd be like a black market type of thing.
Which I don't trust that. Who wants to smoke a cigarette you don't know what's in it?
And now you see why I want to legalize. Now you see. Now you understand.
Full circle, I guess.
We're there.
Okay.
I win.
Okay, well, but now you can't smoke at 18 anymore, right? It's 21.
No, 21.
Which is kind of crazy.
Insane. You can go to military at 18.
But so are menthol cigarettes, like right now, could I go to 7-Eleven today and get a pack of menthol cigarettes?
Yeah, it's not in effect yet. Like, it's just
what's the holdup? If it's that bad, why aren't we just taking it off the shelf?
Have you not understood how, like, Washington works? Like,
I just don't understand if it's that easy to illegalize something, like, How did that even get passed? I just don't understand if it's that easy.
It's the FDA doing it.
I don't know, but I'm mad about it.
I'm not happy. Nobody's happy. Here's what's going to suck is that they're going to come after, eventually, pipe tobaccos. And so that's a fucking problem.
There's a market, though. If I could figure out how to make cigarettes, menthol cigarettes.
We can grow tobacco at our new house.
I could get rich off this.
Yes. Yeah.
This is a scheme for
Clean
me.
Libertarian Industries coming to a neighborhood near you.
Yeah.
We're going to build our little empire off of back alley menthols. Right?
Oh my gosh, I'll give you a little tingle.
A little tingle. Little tickle in your throat.
A little tickle.
A little tickle. A little tickle for your pickle.
A little tickle in your downstairs. How about a little slap and tickle?
All right. We're off the rails.
Okay.
I think we wrap it up. We're at 40 minutes.
Okay.
We did 40 minutes. We did good.
Yeah.
Thank you for sitting down and talking to me.
Well, thanks for having me on, Drew.
Anytime, Hill. Anytime.
And, there are some things I'd like to plug. I have a great TikTok. It's Dr. Fillery. If you're looking to follow me on TikTok, I post a lot of really great things. Twitter, mainly, it is Dr. Fillery as well.
And it's just your dog.
And it's just mainly about my dog and sometimes about the stupid shit my husband says. And I do the Facebook thing because, I'm addicted. So feel free to follow me if you guys like. I just want to make that little plug there. If you'll put this link in your show notes, that'd be great. Yeah. Also, I do run the Clean Libertarian Facebook page.
She does. Thank you for that.
So I do a mediocre job at that, but, I do what I can.
Absolutely.
To do my part for this show.
Well, we'll have you on. You're always going to, there's always going to be a spot for you.
Yeah, the next time you're just really out of options, you know where to find me. Story of my life.
Well, I'm going to segue out of that and do the song of the day. And here's what we don't do.
Wait, do I get to pick the song?
No,
do I get to pick it?
You do not. You do not. I'm trying to explain why. Okay? And that's because YouTube does this thing where they filter the content. Right? So if it's you only like big name things. And so the likelihood that there's going to be a copyright claim on that music is high. I'm never going to monetize this podcast, so I'm not, trying to make a buck off somebody else's work, but...
I know some underground stuff.
Dude, you don't know anything underground, bro.
I ever heard of a little band called Taking Back Sunday?
Yeah, that's not underground at all.
It is underground.
No, it's not.
It's absolutely
all right, anyway, so today's song of the day is a band called the Mountain Goats.
Oh, great.
I love that. I figured you would like this. This is a song called
is it?
Source Decay. Is what it's called. It's off their album called All Hell West Texas. And it's just, I don't know, this is one of those songs. I found God on a lonely highway in West Texas going up towards Amarillo. I can't explain it. I had a very palpable spiritual experience.
Spiritual awakening?
It was along those lines. It was just a beautiful moment in my life. But this song reminds me of that. I wasn't listening to, what was I listening to at the time? I was listening to Of Monsters and Men. So I was already listening to kind of like that indie folk type of stuff, kind of like that stuff.
Well, we'll see. I'll see.
But anyway, so here is Source Decay by the Mountain Goats.
To check the Austin post office box. I take the detour through our old neighborhood, see all the Chevy Impalas in their front yards up on blocks, and I park in an alley and I read through the postcards you continue to send. Where as indirectly as you can, you ask what I remember. I like these torture devices from my old best friend. Well, I'll tell you what I know, like I swore I always would. I don't think it's gonna do you any good. I remember the train headed south out of Bangkok down toward the water. Get a late start when the sun's going down and the traffic's thinning out and the glare is hard to take. I wish the West Texas highway was a Mobius strip. I could ride it out forever. When I feel my heart break, I almost swear I hear it happen. Is that clear and that hard? I come in off the highway and I park in my front yard. I fall out of the car like a hostage from a plane. Think of you a while, start wishing it would rain. And I remember the train headed south out of Bangkok down toward the water. with all the others like it. I start sorting through the pile. I check the pictures and the postmarks and the captions and the stamps for signs of any pattern at all. When I come up empty-handed, the feeling almost overwhelms me. I let a few of my defenses fall, and I smile a bitter smile. It's not a pretty thing to see. I think about a railroad platform back in 1983, and I remember the train headed south out of Bangkok.